is it to be someone special within the creation, within this earth? So we have to ask, why? Why are we so special? What is our, purpose here? If you found yourself in a fast-moving train, in a buggy, not train, compartment, and the doors are closed, you're the only one, and it's going so fast, you can hardly see where it's going to. I mean, it's just so fast, right? And you just woke up in the train, and then this is how you found. Are you going to say, oh, nice train, nice seats, and time went 2 hours, 4 hours, and you found some food there, you ate, and then you can feel like getting tired, you woke up and there's bathroom there, and the next day as you wake up, you're still there. Would you not be asking yourself, how did I get here? Where am I going? Where did I come from? I would ask that question. I wouldn't know, where is this place? How did I even get here? I mean, I was sleeping in my bed yesterday and now I'm here. So these are sensible questions to ask. If we are placed in this world, we need to ask, where did I come from? Who gave me this life? Did I have life? Did I have life from my parents, or I created myself, or did I give life to me, myself? Or is there someone who has given me life? I know, I know that I could not have created myself. I could have created myself. Because, 200 years ago I didn't even exist. So when I was non-existent, I could not have created myself at one point. So, did my parents create me? Did they give me life? If they gave me life, that means they have the ability to give me life. So if I died as a baby, they should be able to give life again. And I died again, they should give life again. But the fact of the matter is, when a child dies, no parents can give life to that baby again. That means they did not have the ability or the power to give life in the first place. They're only a process. Yeah? Right. So my parents didn't give me life. I didn't create myself. No one else can give me life. So who gave me life? That is the question. Then we know that actually it makes sense that all of this cosmos that is here, the one who created all of this must have been giving me life. Why? Can we speculate and find out why am I here? People have speculated and they come up with so many contradictory different answers to this. Whether the sages, or the philosophers, or scientists, or religious believers, the ideas contradictory, variety of ideas. So we cannot just say like this. The only way we can know why we're here and why we've been given life is if the one who made us tells us. If I have a device, I say, okay, there you go, use it. And you haven't got a clue what it does. I mean, you say, it's like quite strong. Okay, let me use it like a hammer. And somebody says, oh, actually, I can use, open my can of Coke or this or whatever. But if somebody told you actually what it is, you open it, and it's actually some instrument that you do, and you can make phone calls with your friend, whatever, right? Then you would know that, oh, actually, this is a communicative device. So, because I tell you so, because that's what it is for, made for. If our creator, whoever he is, the originator of this cosmos, created us and tells us why he created us, we can then be rest assured and say, that is the reason. And this is what the Quran directs us and guides us to. The reason we are here in this world, that God created us, and we will not live in this earth forever. We will die when our appointed time comes, and we will be raised back to life again, and there will be another life. Okay? So we have to fulfill the purpose of our life to go to the second one. So this is a life of our test. I mean, God could have, you say God, the Creator could have created us and not given us any free will. Because we have free will. Because of free will, there is murder, there is rape, there is exploitation, there is abuse. But if no one had free will, you just do exactly how the Creator wants you to do. But the Creator created us with this free will.
So what would be wrong with that? Creating what was required, or
to appreciate with your own free will about the Creator is better rather than you're programmed to believe in your Creator. Like, I cannot disbelieve in the Creator. The angels were created who cannot disobey God. They cannot go against God. That's what we believe Islamically. But we have we have somehow excelled the angels and become better than the angels because we can use our own freedom of choice, our own intellect, and then say, yes, I believe. I'm making a rational, free choice. Yeah? Yeah. So this is the reason we are created, to know our Creator and to thank our Creator and do His will. When I say him, his, it doesn't mean he's a male or a female. It's just using a pronoun. Okay? So we are here to live according to a particular, guidance, and that guidance is just and kind, something that is going to be, exactly what we want. I want to live this life that I have without exploitation, abuse, without people, stealing from me, or having this greed to steal from me, or having hatred against me, or being jealous that I have, being envious. But I want that I can see someone in need, I can be generous and help and reach out to them. So the qualities that we should have, this is what Islam asks us to do. The best of qualities, to be perfect in our character. This is what our Prophet ﷺ said, that God sent him and raised him to call people to perfect the nobility of character. Okay? So we have in ourselves the understanding of good and bad. It may be clouded by our social indoctrination. Like, I may begin from the very, if I was in certain countries, that all English people are the devil, we should get rid of them, whatever, or all black people are the devil. Some people think that way, yeah, because of their indoctrination. Obviously, we would say that both of them are wrong. Human beings, we're all the same. We should look after each other, care for each other, have this feeling for each other, brotherhood, unity. We should build bridges rather than divide, like, these hecklers that was coming around. All they're trying to do is somehow create this division between people, hatred between people, so that people somehow have dramas and hate between. No, we need to come close to each other, have the friendship and the brotherhood, so that this life that we have, it can be meaningfully lived in a way that it is quite progressive and harmonious to our well-being.
So are religions moving towards that?
Religion has always been this core, that you do not commit injustice to anyone else. You do not rape, steal, murder, cheat, lie, all of these vices. But be good, cooperate in goodness, help each other, give charity, yeah? Be kind, be compassionate. Because the human mind with the free will can have different feelings that can lean towards greed and so on, but always the drive being to bring yourself back to this nobility of character. Any prophet that came, that was one of the part of their call. While worshipping God, you worship God and be kind and be, merciful to people around, and to the environment, and to the animals, and to everything else. And this is why you'll find that in Islam, a huge emphasis is placed on looking after the environment, looking after the other creations, against any polluting the environment. Don't pollute the air, don't pollute the sea, don't pollute the land. We are talking about living harmoniously in this life, in this earth that we have. I mean, come on, we have to make it habitable. God made it in a way for us we can sustain our life. Did I make fruits and vegetables to eat? No, God placed it there already. So why should I then destroy it? Yeah. So religion from God, there can be only one, by the way. There can be only one absolute being. There cannot be two. If there was two, there will be chaos and corruption and ruin. Imagine two absolute beings. One says, I want this universe to be destroyed now. Another one says, no, I want to.
Oh, your hand is there. I couldn't see.
I want this universe to continue. One of them says, destroy now. Other one says, continue. What's going to happen? Because all of them are absolute in their power. Yeah? That's why more than one absolute being doesn't work. Polytheism is irrational. You cannot have more than one absolute being. Imagine a car with two steering wheels, right? And you sit in one steering wheel and I'm on the other. Okay, you're on the right, I'm on the left. I'm independent of you and you independent of me. I'm going to take the car north. And you decide to take the car south. Where's the car going to go? Do you see?
In the ditch.
Problem. That's why if I don't take it to the north, I am not going to be in control. And if you don't take it to the south, you're not going to be in control. So either way, there can only be one absolute creator of our universe. So our universe, when created by this one creator, his message has always been the same. Did you know that Islam is not a new religion? What we say about Prophet Muhammad...
What do you mean by new?
Yeah, what we say is Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the last of all the messengers of the same religion,
Yes.
same message God sent, the Creator sent, Islam, being the same message throughout, that you submit and surrender your will willingly to the will of the Creator. That's all. And when the messenger comes, you follow the messenger who will tell you the will of God. That's all. So the religion from God has always been for the goodness of people, and goodness of society, goodness of the environment, and so on. But some people didn't like that because of their greed, jealousy, or hatred for someone else or something else, and they started exploiting and changing and doing all of that. And that's where division starts, and that's where people start hating each other and forming a different religion, perhaps. Okay? The Creator in His mercy sends sometimes another messenger, another guide to the same nation. Bring them back to this message. So He's done that throughout, and He says there's no nation that has gone past that didn't have a messenger telling them, warning them, because the Creator has to be just to everyone. The Creator will be called unjust if the Creator punished us without telling us what we're supposed to do. Imagine now the Creator in the hereafter punishes us by saying, you know what, it was a crime to speak in Speaker's Corner. He didn't tell us. So he needs to tell us. Rape is wrong. Punishable. He might be punished. He might actually punish on this world too, with a system of punishment.
But I mean, okay, but that's covered in the books, the 5 first books of the Bible.
So these messages, the guidance, many of these are already found in the laws of Moses, for example. Because when Prophet Moses came, he came with lots of regulations and laws. Yeah? But it doesn't mean he came with the universal laws and guidance. He came as enough and sufficient for the people of his time. So when Noah came, the prophet, peace be upon all the prophets, he came to his people with a sufficient guidance that they need. Every prophet came to their own people with the guidance that is required for them. But time progressed. Societies are changing, evolving, progressing, advancing. Comes to a point
that I mean, for instance, once you've got that instilled in you, whatever you've prophets before it said, you don't need a prophet now to come today to update. I mean, you've got it instilled in you, that sort of decency.
What happened was, I can understand the point. There was a point where the guidance wasn't complete for whole of humanity because it's only partial for the people. Complete for them, for the locals, but incomplete for the whole world. Imagine there was a society where there was no stealing. There is no need to have laws for stealing. But another society, people start stealing from each other. You need law to deal with that. And the Creator often gives laws rather than you making up your own laws, gives it from His kindness and justice and gives you this law. This is how you deal with people when they steal. The best guidance for that. So that's why sometimes you will see the laws may be different from different culture, different societies, because at one point it was sufficient for them, but it wasn't sufficient for everyone else. In line with all of this, Prophet Muhammad, upon him be peace, came with the final guidance from God. The completion and culmination and perfection of all that.
Why do you say not the latest?
When I say final, there won't be any more. That's why
what I'm saying,
the Quran said God has perfected his religion already with the guidance and completed it. So you don't need another prophet or a messenger to come, or another book of God of guidance of God to come to tell you how to conduct when you have a situation like this. So Islam has been universalized and completed within the last messenger. So any problem that you bring in society, whether it's euthanasia or cloning, I'm just giving you an example of today. That wasn't known before. I mean, we now do these kind of things. Islam has a solution and gives you guidance to this. You don't need anything else, because the framework of the guidance that we need has been provided in the Quran and the explanation of the Prophet in his teachings. We call them the Sunnah of the Prophet. So this is why when we say come back to God, we say come back to the same message that God has sent throughout. We are not calling to something new. It is the belief that all the prophets came up with. The only thing that we're making distinction of, this is the finality of this guidance from God, and the final message is the latest message from God.
That's what I'm saying. I see it as the latest message.
Correct.
But you say it's the final message.
Yeah. So you don't need another late message again, another message to come, because there's nothing to supersede this message. That's the distinction between Islam and all the prophets and their messages before. Yeah. It's the finality of the message. And no Muslim can be a Muslim if they disbelieve in any of the prophets that has gone before, or disbelieve in any of the books of guidance God has sent. It is an article of faith that we believe in not only God and the angels and the last day, but we also believe in the prophets and the books that God sent with them. It's an article of faith. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I sort of like gather a lot of that from listening to people having their discussions and debates, and include yourself, assuming people like that.
Yeah. So all you have to do is say, I don't know. It's a good start. And say, how am I going to know? But remember, one thing is about not knowing and not doing anything to know. Another thing is not knowing and seeking to find out, right? So the role of the mind is to actually go and seek to find out when we don't know. In Islam, there is a whole principle called, if you don't know, ask the people who know. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. If you don't know, ask the people of knowledge. If you want to know about scientists, are you going to go to a theologian? You should go to a scientist to know about science and the mechanics of the world. Likewise, if you want to know about God himself and the reasons why he's created and what is his guidance, you should go to his book. Go to the messenger who explains this book, and then say, look, let me see what it says. And use your faculty of rationality with all the right angle processing. What I mean by that is imagine, I'm going to give you an example to illustrate this point. Imagine you want to look yourself into a mirror because you look very handsome. You want to know, have I got something there? You want to, look yourself into a mirror. And what you bring is a totally shattered mirror, and you look at it. You will see yourself partially, not the full, complete picture. Yeah. If it was dust all around, you probably won't be seeing anything. So you need to remove this dust. You need to get a mirror that is not broken. What if you want to see your back? Maybe you need another mirror. You see, these are the tools to arrive at an answer of how am I looking at the moment. If you want to reach the truth, likewise, we have to use the right tools. Right tools to say, okay, I am going to not just come with this preconceived bias and understanding that if this book says God spoke in Arabic I'm not going to believe in it because I speak only English or Chinese or Ethiopian or Indonesian or Malaysian, whatever it might be, because that would become an obstacle. But is this a justifiable obstacle? Why am I restricting that the guidance has to be in my language? God could have given a guidance in a language in his wisdom for a reason, in Arabic, for example. If the Prophet was Arab and I said, look, I am European, I don't expect God to make me believe or ask me to believe in a prophet who is an Arab. Is this really a justifiable excuse? I would say no. I mean, God could raise a prophet from anywhere. He could raise a prophet from India. And if he was the prophet from India and he was indeed the prophet, I should believe in him. Rather than saying, oh, he's from India or from... Do you see the point? So our right tools is getting rid of our preconceived biases and prejudices, sometimes bigotry that we may have because we don't even realize that how much something that we are clouded in our understanding. Getting rid of all of this and say, look, okay, so I need to approach it with an open mind. So I look at the Quran and I read, and then I need to sincerely ask these questions. Am I going to just stick to the surface meaning that doesn't make sense? This is, oh, go and fight the unbelievers, and when you find them, beseech them, kill them all. That's what people tell me. Or am I going to say, actually, does it say that? Where does it say that? What's the context? If you take it superficially, you can get the wrong message. Imagine you read this says, woe to those who pray. Say, oh, woe to those who pray. Okay. Oh, God doesn't want me to pray. And you all pray. I mean, how can you? But actually, the Quran has a verse like this. But it doesn't end there. It says, woe to those who pray to be shown off men, to show off. So now we realize, woe to those who pray showing off. So I need to understand the context, not half a verse. Yeah. The Bible, the teaching within the Bible didn't just come from men only. It came from the prophets and messengers, but we believe it got tampered and corrupted with. Sure. Fine. Yeah. So we have to read what it says rather than superficially and read half a verse and read out of context. So the verse about like go and fight them and kill them and lay in ambush, actually it talks about in a context of war where there was a covenant between Muslims and non-Muslims, and because they broke the treaty, God says now this is a declaration of immunity. There is no longer the treaty in effect anymore. So travel freely for 4 months, so it's giving them time to travel and go to their safe place of safety. And when the time is over, then you go and fight them because now you're in a state of war because they're trying to kill you. Now go you fight, but you fight to the point where only it's necessary. So if they surrender, stop fighting you, the Quran says, stop and escort these people to the place of safety because they don't know. That was the context. And it says those of you who had your contract and did not break it, you fulfill the term of the contract. You don't fight them. But none of these you can see from the right-wing Islamophobes because they just take it out of context. This is what Islam says. So often our search about the truth, about Islam, about Quran, is confounded by people's this kind of right-wing propaganda so that people don't see the true message. So our approach would be...
I mean, what you're talking about now is that, like,
how to
certain
approach?
people taking things like, but like different strains of
all Muslims, whoever they are, they believe in the same book, the Quran.
So how do you end up with, like, say, the Salafist or Wahhabis?
No, the Salafi, Wahhabi, Ikhwani, Sufi, they all believe in the Quran.
But they don't
All of
treat
them.
it the same way.
No. They may
do they?
disagree with,
I'm asking.
they may disagree, which they do, in understanding certain things. How to revive the Muslims, for example, back to the Islamic principles. Some of them may say, look, we have to go and overthrow all the rulers because they are corrupt by sword. Others might say, no, we have to teach them and advise them and counsel them and rectify them. You see the approach? How to revive the Muslim Ummah. This is one example. I'm giving you how to bring about the Muslim unity back again. So this happens because of people's own agendas and biases or interpretation. The best interpretation, the Quran says, is the interpretation that Allah and His messengers explain. God and His messenger has given. That's the best explanation. And that's what everybody should be striving towards. So I'm saying, when we read to derive the truth from the Quran and the teaching of the Prophet, we should approach with this approach of neutrality and sincerity and open heartedness, where we examine it as it should be examined. That's why the Quran says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ, or are their hearts sealed? Do they not ponder deeply? Do they not reflect deeply on the Quran? Or are their hearts sealed, closed, locked? The Quran wants us to open our hearts and ponder and reflect deeply on the Quran, not superficially. Because when you just superficially, you can make up anything, any belief. And that's what we find people do. They superficially read, and then they think, oh, this is what the Quran says. No, Quran says no. Read it as it should be read. And when you then reflect on it, when the Quran says, God created you in different nationalities, nations and tribes, languages and colors, so that you may understand each other, not to despise of each other. And the best among you is the one who is most pious. If you reflect on this, you will see racism is obliterated. He says, look, God created us in differences in our languages and our colors, in tribes and nations. And the reason for that is, we don't despise each other, but to recognize each other. Yeah? And he then tells us the qualification. Among all of us, the best people are the one who is most pious, most God conscious, does God's will. Yeah? Now, imagine everyone looked as handsome as you are, in your height, in your build. So what's your name? Lincoln. He looks like you, I look like you, he looks like you. Everyone looks like Lincoln. Old man looks like Lincoln. Now, what's your name, brother? Mustafa. Now, you're Lincoln, he's Mustafa. How am I going to know? All look the same. Same color, beautiful color, and shape and complexion that you have. Everyone looks like you. Lincoln, are you Mustafa, are you Lincoln? Who didn't know? So it's actually mercy from God that we have differences like this in our shapes, in our colors, in our nationalities, in our languages. It's a mercy that we recognize each other. It's a mercy from God. In fact, God tells us one of His signs is that He's created like this. One of His signs, He's created spouses from ourselves, so that we may find tranquility and repose in each other, peace and tranquility and love. This is how He created, He created sleep. That's one of His signs. Imagine there was no sleep. Try not sleeping for a few days, week. You will go crazy. God created us, and He also gave us this what is called this ability to rest through sleeping. This is one of His signs. So Islam tells us, when you go, you will see there are signs throughout the Quran to realize that this is from God. Because the Prophet is not here to tell you, show you miracles. The Quran has to tell you that it is indeed from God. Provide the evidence that you need. And the Quran actually says in the Quran, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ أَوَلَمْ يَكْفِ بِرَبِّكَ أَنَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ شَهِيدٌ. Something along this line. Okay, or maybe forgotten the last part of the ayah. God says, we shall soon show them our signs in themselves, in the horizons and within themselves, so that they know, until they know that this is the truth. And isn't God sufficient enough as a witness? Yeah. So the signs are there. When you read the Quran, that's it.
Right, sin we just spoke about earlier, or you spoke about earlier, is that people shouldn't, all Muslims using the same book. Do you find they're moving closer together?
Some Muslims are fighting each other when they shouldn't be.
They're moving close together at all. It's over, say, 200 years or so. The last
there are there has been some.
Assalamu alaikum brothers and sisters. Hope this video was helpful for you. This may help others too, so please consider sharing, and we will bring more videos in the future inshallah. So consider subscribing and you won't miss any. Jazakallahu khairan.